Hey there, I'm Caleb, and in this video, I'll walk you through setting up your very own Shopify store, step by step, completely from scratch. As a beginner, the entire process of building a Shopify store can seem extremely overwhelming. There's so many buttons, settings, and options, it's really hard to know where to start. So that's why in this tutorial, I'll make sure that you can easily follow along. I'll explain each step as I go to make sure by the end of this video, you'll have a store that not only looks great, but is fully functional and ready to be published. And if you're looking for help with a specific part of the store building process, just check the description. There's timestamps below so that you can jump ahead. In the description, you'll also find a special sign-up link for Shopify. Make sure you use this to save yourself some money. You'll get a 3-day free trial and 3 months of Shopify for only $1 per month. So you've now signed up for Shopify, but there is one important thing that we don't want to miss before we begin designing our store. Before we get started, let's make sure we activate our 3-month extended trial by choosing a plan. You can do this by clicking select a plan here at the top or going to the bottom and clicking this little black box here. I'll click into this and click on select a plan. Now for most people, the basic plan will be plenty, so I just go with this. I'll click on select basic here. And now you'll fill in your payment information on this screen here. I've now filled in my payment information, and here on the right-hand side, I'll click on subscribe. Go ahead and let that load here. All right, now we're successfully subscribed, and here you can fill out your business address if you'd like to. In my case, I'm going to click on Add Later for now. Now that we've chosen a plan, let's begin designing our Shopify store by choosing a theme. To do that, let's navigate to the left-hand side and click on Online Store. And now once that loads in, you'll see that there's already a theme selected for you. For every single Shopify account, this is always going to be Dawn. But if you want to select a different theme, just scroll down to the bottom here and click on Visit Theme Store. I'll click on this here to check it out. Now here we are in the Shopify theme library. If I scroll down, you'll see that there are a ton of different options to choose from. And you'll also notice that these are mostly paid themes. If you're looking to choose a free theme, just scroll up to the top and click on Free right here. Once I click on this, I can scroll back through and see that there are only free options for us to choose from. I'd recommend taking some time here, looking through all of these themes and seeing which one is going to work best for your store. Once you find a theme that you like, for example, here, I'll go with the Spotlight theme. I'll click into it, and if I wanted to install it to my store, I could click on Try Theme, or if I want to see what this theme looks like when it's actually built out, I can click on View Demo Store. Let's click on this here to check it out, and now I can see what this store actually looks like, and I'm able to interact with it to see if I really like the theme. Now, if I wanted to install it, I can click on Try Theme in the top right. And now Spotlight will be added to my theme library. Give Shopify some time here to add it to my theme library. You'll see that it was successful. And then if I scroll down, you'll see Spotlight has now been added to my theme library. I currently have the Dawn theme active by default. And now I can click on Publish right here under Spotlight to change the theme. For this video, I will be using the Dawn theme. It's my personal favorite theme to work with, so I'll be sticking with that. But I did want to quickly demo how you would add a new theme to your theme library, just in case you're looking for something different. With that done, we can now begin customizing our Shopify theme. To do that, let's begin by clicking on Customize here on the right-hand side. Go ahead and click on Customize here to begin. So here we are in our Shopify theme editor. If this is your first time interacting with this interface, it may seem a little bit overwhelming, but trust me, it's not as complicated as it seems. Let's start by breaking down everything we're looking at here into 3 easy to understand steps. The first step is going to be our navigation. If we go to the top here, you'll see it says homepage. It says that because I'm currently on my homepage. So if I wanted to navigate to a different part of my Shopify store, I click here, and then for example, I could go to a product page or a collection. And then going down here, I could go to different pages, blogs, blog posts, and so on and so forth. I'll close this up here, and now let's go to the left-hand side. Over here is our store's content. You'll see we have our header, template, and footer. I can click on Add Section to add a section into these different areas. And then the third step is going to be our actual store. If I scroll down here on the page, you'll see that all of the store content is housed right here. And this is what our customers are going to see once we complete our store's design. Now that we have a better understanding of what we're actually looking at, let's start designing our homepage. The first thing that I'll do is remove this image banner seen here. In my opinion, it's a little bit too big and stands out too much. To delete this section, I'll go to the left-hand side and click on the trash icon next to image banner. Let's click on that here and you'll see that it's removed from our store. I'm also going to hide this featured collection and come back to it a little bit later in the video. Now our store is mostly empty and we have plenty of space to work with to start designing new sections. Now let's begin adding in content to our store. To do that, let's go to the left-hand side here and click on Add Section. Once I click on this, you'll see that there are a ton of different options for you to choose from. We'll start by adding in an image slideshow. Let's click on Slideshow here, and you'll see that that's going to populate on the right-hand side. You'll see that there are some settings for us to choose from here on the left-hand side. The only thing that I want to change is toggling on Auto Rotate Slides. That's going to make it to where the slideshow is going to naturally transition between each image that I select. To add in custom images here, instead of the Shopify default image, I'll click on the back arrow here on the left-hand side. And let's click into our first image slide seen here. Let's do that now. And under image, I can click on select to upload my own custom image. Click on that. And now I'll drag and drop in a custom lifestyle image so that way my slideshow looks nice and professional. With that file uploaded, I'll click on done. And you'll see the image populate in my slideshow here. For this video, I'll be building out a clothing store, but all of the advice and everything I'm showing you in this video is applicable to virtually every niche out there. Now, you'll notice here on my slideshow that the text is actually blocking most of the image, and we can fix that. The first thing I'll do is go to the left-hand side and change my heading size to small. Then I'll change my heading to read something like elegant, and then I'll remove the subheading to cut down on the text. Next, let's scroll down and change our button label. I'll change this to read Shop Now. And for the link, I'm going to change that to link to our products, and then I'll click on All Products. Then we will turn the container off, which is this white background seen here. Let's do that, and now we'll see a lot more of our image. Let's change the content position to be in the bottom left, and all of the content alignment to the left as well. Now with those changes, we can actually see our image in its entirety and all of our text and buttons are aligned to the left-hand side. Now I'll go through and add 3 more slides on my own off camera and show you what my slideshow looks like once it's complete. Here on the left-hand side, you can see that I've added in a few new slides. I did this by clicking on the blue Add Slide button, and I used the exact same process and settings that I showed you a moment ago. Then on the right-hand side, we can get a live look at what our slideshow looks like. I think this looks really good. It creates a nice, strong first impression for our store, and you can take this technique and apply it to virtually any niche out there. Now, we're going to configure more of our homepage a little bit later on in the video, but I want to transition and show you how to add products to your Shopify store. So to move on, let's click on Save in the top right to save our progress. And I'm actually going to go ahead and leave full screen view from my browser. When I exit the Shopify theme editor, I'm going to right click on the button here and click on Open Link in New Tab. Now, rather than jumping around between our product pages and our theme editor, we can just jump between these 2 tabs seen here. Now, to add in our first product to our Shopify store, let's begin by clicking on Products on the left-hand side, and then click on Add Product here. Let's begin by giving our product a title. In my case, I'm going to name this Maxwell Graphic Tee. Then for our product description, I would recommend using ChatGPT for this. Just give it some simple information about your product, the vibe and tone of the text, and some information about your store. I went ahead and used ChatGPT to generate this product description here. As you can see, it automatically bolded and italicized some of the text within the copy here. If you want to do that yourself, just highlight some of the text and you can click on bold, italic, underline, or you can even change the color here. I'd recommend doing this to make your product page stand out and look even more professional. Now, the next thing we'll want to do is scroll down to the media section here and begin uploading our product photos. I've went ahead and prepared 6 product images to be uploaded here, and we'll see them uploading now. Now within the media section here, you can actually drag and drop images to change the order in which they appear. And whichever image is first here on the left-hand side will be your featured product image that you'll see on your storefront. I'm happy with this image seen here, but for example, if I wanted to, I could change it to a nice lifestyle image that shows a model actually wearing the product. But again, I'll change it out to this one here, and I will scroll down to check out some more options. The first setting for us to configure is the product category. I don't usually do this unless I'm running a super large Shopify store that has a ton of products in it. But for a small store like this that's only going to be selling a few t-shirts, I wouldn't really recommend configuring this. One thing that we do want to configure, however, is the product's pricing. I want to sell this t-shirt for $19.99, and I want to configure the compare at price to be set at $25. Now, when we do this, our product page is going to show our customer that the t-shirt is being sold at a discount. It's normally sold at $25, but today they can buy it for $19.99. Little details like this can help your store significantly when it comes to generating sales. Next, I'll scroll down a little bit here and we'll make sure that we are charging tax on this product. Now we can configure our cost per item. Let's say it costs us $10 to manufacture this t-shirt. Now we can see that we're generating $9.99 in profit, and our profit margin is set at 50%. This allows you to configure your product's pricing and your cost per item, and you can dial in really how much profit you're looking to make per sale. I'm happy with this, so I'll continue down the list here. Next, we can choose if we'd like to track the quantity of this product using Shopify. Depending on the nature of your business, you may choose to use something like a spreadsheet or a logbook to track your own product inventory. But when we have this option turned on, we can actually track the quantity of our products using Shopify. Let's say that I have 100 t-shirts to sell. Every time somebody comes to my Shopify store and a sale is generated, we'll see this number tick down on our Shopify dashboard. Next, we can choose to configure if we'd like to continue selling when we're out of stock, and if the product has an SKU or a barcode. I'm going to leave both of these options turned off and move on to my shipping settings. First, we'll choose whether or not this is a physical product. You would only turn this off in the case that you were selling some sort of digital product. Then we can change the weight of our product between pounds, ounces, kilograms, and grams. I'll leave this as 0 for now. We can also add in some customs information here if we need to as well. Next, let's move down to our product variants. Here we can add in options like sizes and colors. This is really helpful when it comes to selling clothing. If I click on this here, I can change this to say sizes, and then I can have a small, a medium, and then a large size. And now on my product page, when a customer comes by, they can choose the specific size that they're looking for. And you can do the exact same thing for colors and other types of variants, and you can get creative with this as well. For my product page, I'm not looking to have any variants, so I'll just click delete on this. With everything configured, I'm happy with this product page, so I'm going to click on Save in the bottom right. We have now successfully created this product. If I click on the back arrow here, we'll see it appear in our product list. Now off camera, I'm going to go ahead and create a few more products using the exact same process I just showed you. Now, as you can see here, I've gone through using the exact same settings as before, created a few new products for us to use. And to keep these products nice and organized, let's go ahead and create some collections to house them in. You'll notice I have some products labeled for women and some for men's. So let's start by organizing those into separate collections. To begin that process, go back to the left-hand side and click on Collections. First, you'll notice that there's a default collection here. It'll be titled Homepage. I'm going to remove this by selecting it, clicking the 3 dots on the right-hand side, and then clicking on Delete Collection here. Now, let's begin by creating our first collection. I'll start by clicking on Create Collection here, and we will give our collection a title. I'll name this one Women's, and this collection will house all of my women's clothing. You can add a description if you'd like. I don't usually do this though. One thing I do want to do, however, is add in an image for this collection. You can do this by clicking on Add Image, But in my case, I've prepared some images off camera, so I'll drag and drop it here. Once that's done uploading, I'll click on Done. And in just a moment, we'll see the image populate right here. Here's our collections image. Back on the left-hand side, we can choose our collection type between manual and smart. I like to have a little bit more control, so I typically go for the manual collection type. But if you have a lot of products on your store, it can be the right option to choose smart occasionally. Now let's scroll down and start adding in the products to our collection. I'll click on Search Products here, and I'll type in women's. And now we'll see all of our women's clothing appear here. I want to select each one of these here, and then I'll click on Add in the bottom right. Now all of my women's clothing has been added to my women's collection, and once I'm done, I'll scroll down and click on Save in the bottom right. With that done, I've created my first collection, and if I go back, we'll see it appear right here. Now I'm going to go through the exact same process and create a men's collection and a new arrivals collection. So I'll do that using the exact same steps I just showed you and meet you in just a moment. Now, as you can see here, I've created a couple new collections. I have my new arrivals, my men's, and my women's collections. With my products created and my collections created, we can now finally go back to our Shopify theme editor and finish up customizing our homepage. Now, if I scroll down on our store, we can see that it's pretty empty. All we have here is the image slideshow that we made earlier. So let's start adding in some content. The first thing we'll do is configure our featured collection that we hid at the beginning of this video. I'll unhide this by clicking on the eye icon here, and you'll see on the right-hand side that the collection now appears properly. Let's configure this collection to display some of our products that we created. I'll do this by clicking into it here. And for our collection, I want to select our new arrivals collection seen here. Let's click on this, and we'll see the products populate here on the right-hand side. The next thing I'll do is change the text from featured collection. On the left-hand side, I'll edit this to say our best sellers. Then I'll scroll down here and I want to change the image ratio to portrait. Right now, if we look at our product images, we can see that they seem like slightly different sizes. To fix this, let's change the image ratio from adapt to image to portrait. Now they'll all be roughly the same size. I'm happy with how this looks, so I'll go back by clicking on the back button here. But now if I scroll down on my store, my featured collection is actually above my slideshow. To fix this, let's go to the left-hand side here and simply drag the collection underneath the slideshow to reorder the content. As I do this, on the right-hand side, you can see that you're getting a bird's eye view of what your website looks like as you're editing it. I'm going to drop it below the slideshow here, and I'm happy with how that looks. Now, the next thing I want to do is add in a new section to my store. I'll do this by going to the left-hand side and clicking on Add Section, and then I want to add in a collection list seen here. Let's click on this and see that populate on the right-hand side. You'll notice that there are 3 auto-generated collections, but they're not actually linked to anything. To fix this, let's simply click into one of the collections, and on the left-hand side, we'll select a collection here. I want to choose my new arrivals collection. We'll see that populate there. As for the other 2 collections, I don't actually want these. So to remove them, let's click on the blue pop-up and then the red trash can icon. And I'll repeat the same step here to remove the other collection. And now we're left with just one collection. I want to change the text here from collections to say new arrivals. And it looks like my image is being cut off here, so I want to change the image ratio from square to adapt to image. Now we can see that our image is being properly shown here on the right-hand side. I'm happy with how this looks, so I'll select the back button here to go back. And like we did before, I actually want this collection list to be above the featured collection that we just made. So I'm going to drag it and drag it right above that featured collection. I'll let go of this here. If I scroll down, we have our featured collection, and then we have our new arrivals seen here. Now, there's one more thing I want to do before we move on to the next step. I want to add in another collection list. I'll do that by clicking on Add Section, and then clicking on Collection List again. I want to remove one of these collections, and so in total, I'll be displaying 2 collections here. So I'll remove one of them, and then click into this one here. I'll click on Select again. And now I want to select my women's collection. Do that here and see it populate. And let's do the exact same thing on the other side for the men's collection. I'll click on this here. Then I want to change the text from collections to read choose your style. Then again, my images are being cut off, so I want to change the image ratio to adapt to image. I'll change my columns from 3 to 2. Now I'm happy with how that looks, so I'll go ahead and click on the back button. Now, if I scroll to the top of our store, we can get a look at everything that we just added. And in my opinion, everything is looking really good and professional here. The next thing that we want to do is start customizing our store's header. If I scroll up on the left-hand side, I can see my header area here. I have 2 sections within it. I have my announcement bar and I have my header itself. For the announcement bar, you can customize the text by clicking on it here. I don't think I'm going to use an announcement bar on this store though, so I'll just remove it by clicking the trash can icon here. The first thing I want to do is add in my store's logo. If you see right here, it just says my store. This is where our logo should be. To do that, click on the gear icon here to enter your theme settings, and then click on logo, and then click on select. I'll go ahead and drag and drop my logo here and wait for that to upload. Once it's done, I'll click on done here. And my logo is actually a white color, so you're not going to see it properly appear here. To fix this, let's click into our header and let's change the color scheme from scheme 1 to scheme 4. And now you'll see my logo properly appear here. One small thing I want to change is my logo's position. I'll change it from middle left to middle center on the left-hand side. We'll see that change reflect here, and you can see that my menu is now appearing on the left-hand side. I think this is a little bit easier for our customers to interact with, and I think this looks just a lot cleaner. The next thing I want to change that I think is really important is our menu navigation here. Right now we have our home page, a catalog, and our contact page. I want to change this to actually display our collection, so it should say new arrivals, women's, and men's. That way our customers can easily interact with our header to find the area of our store that they want to go to. To configure our menu here, let's go up to the top and go to our other tab, and then let's click on content on the left-hand side. Then let's click on menus here. And here we can actually see our main menu. Again, you'll see home, catalog, and contact. Let's click into our main menu to change this. I'll start by removing the home, the catalog, and the contact page. And now we can begin adding in the menu items that we actually want to our header. I'll start by clicking on add menu item, and then for the label, I'll name this one new arrivals. And then for the link, I'll click into it, click on collections, and then click on the new arrivals collection. Let's do this again, and then name this one women's. Do the same thing, link this one to the women's collection. Then finally, let's do the same thing for men's, and then link the collection here just like before. I'll click on the checkmark icon next to all 3 of these options, and then click on save to finalize everything. Now if I go back to the other tab, to my theme editor, I'll click on save. And now within our header, we see the new menu items. We have new arrivals, women's, and men's. If I click into men's, for example, we'll see that it leads us to the correct location as well. Now I'll go back to my store's homepage by clicking on my logo here, and that'll bring me right back to the homepage. The next thing that we'll want to customize is our store's footer. We can do that by scrolling all the way down on our website and finding it here. To start customizing it, let's simply click into it, and then we'll see some settings appear over here on the left-hand side. The first thing that you'll notice is an email sign-up option. This is a great way to encourage customers to sign up for your newsletter. You can offer them a discount or a coupon code. For my store, I'm going to go ahead and turn this off though, but it's up to you if you want to use this. You have some other miscellaneous options here that you can turn off and on. You have the follow on shop option. If you have Shop Pay enabled, you can go ahead and turn this on. You can have your social media icons, a country and region selector, as well as a language selector. The payment method icons that your store accepts. Right now, we only have PayPal and Venmo because we have not configured Shopify payments yet. And then we have our policy links. Right now, the only thing configured is our privacy policy. This is normal. We have to do this on our own. Since we're already here, let's go ahead and configure those policy pages now. Shopify makes it super easy to find where those are at. Just click on the Manage Policies button here, and that's going to open up a new tab for us, and we can configure our policy pages right here. Let's start by configuring our return and refund policy. Click into it, and then click on Insert Template. Once I do that, you're going to see a ton of information appear here. This is all just kind of a blanket statement. Go through, read through it, make sure you're happy with the policy itself. And if there's anything that you want to change, like for example, a 30-day return policy, you could change this to a 15-day return policy if you wanted to. Once you're happy with your return and refund policy, click on Publish. Let's do the same thing for our terms of service. We'll click into it and then click on Insert Template. Once again, go through, add your information, change anything that you'd like, and then click on Publish. We'll do our shipping policy next. This does not have a template available because you need to configure your own shipping policy. So we'll just put shipping policy here and then click on Publish. Then lastly, let's do our contact information. Let's click on Insert Template, fill out all of this information here, and then click on Publish. Now, if we go back to our store theme editor here, we can click on the Show Policy Links, and we'll let that refresh, and we'll see all of them populate here properly at the bottom. One thing that I don't love about the Dawn theme is the way that the policy links are shown at the bottom. You can see that they're aligned to the left, while everything in my store is center aligned. So we can actually fix this. We'll start by going to the top and clicking on the other tab that we have available. And we'll go back to our menus, which is underneath content. Let's click on the back button here to get out of our main menu. And let's click into our footer menu. We'll click into this here, and we will remove the search and this other menu item that's here as well. Now let's simply add in all of our policy pages to this footer menu. Let's click on this, find the link here, click on Policies at the bottom, and we'll start with our contact information. Now I'll go ahead and do this for the rest of the policy pages that we created a moment ago. Now with all of our policy pages added into our footer menu here, let's click on Save to finalize everything. Now let's go back to our theme editor. I'm going to go ahead and turn off the policy links toggle here to remove these. Now to properly display our footer menu that shows off all of our policy links, I'll click on the back button here. Then underneath footer on the left-hand side, I want to add a block. Click on Add Block and then click on Menu. Now you'll see that it properly appears here, but I want to click into the menu itself, and it's automatically linked to the footer menu. If yours doesn't link to the footer menu properly, this is where you'll configure that. Just go ahead and change it. And I want to remove the heading. I don't want it to say Quick Links, so we'll just take that away. And now everything is nice and centered on the page. Now, the last thing I want to do here in the footer menu area is remove the Powered by Shopify text. And unfortunately, it's not as simple as just highlighting it and removing it. We have to go to a separate area. It's not too difficult though. Let's go back to the top here and click on our other tab, and then click on Online Store on the left-hand side. Now let's click on the three dots next to our current theme, and then click on Edit Default Theme Content. Once this loads in, on Filter Items, search up Links, and then you'll see Powered by Shopify here. To remove it, simply just put a space and then click on Save to remove that text. Let's click on Save. Let's go back over to our theme editor. And now if I save the page, we'll see the Powered by Shopify text removed at the bottom. You'll also notice that this is left default still. This just says My Store. I want to go ahead and change this to make sure our store has a nice branded, cohesive look. Changing this text is really easy. Let's go back up to the top, go to our other tab, and then let's click on Settings at the bottom here. We'll open this up, and in my store details, you'll see it says My Store. Let's click on the Edit button to change this, and I'm going to change this to Maxwell, which is the name of my clothing store. I'll click on Save here. Then I'll go back to the theme editor here. I'll refresh this page, and I'll scroll all the way back down to the bottom, and it now says Maxwell instead of My Store. Now that we have our header and footer configured, let's go ahead and change out some of our theme settings. To find your theme settings, go to the gear icon here on the left-hand side and click into it. Let's begin by uploading our favicon. If you look at my tabs here, you'll see that Shopify has a favicon available here. It's simply a logo that appears within your browser. To upload your favicon, just drag it here onto favicon and upload it. Let that upload, and that will properly appear on our website when it's published. Next, we have some other options we can customize. If your store has a specific brand or color scheme you're looking for, you can add in your own color scheme here. I like the black and white look that my store currently has, so I'm just going to leave this how it is. I do, however, want to change out the font on my store. And to do that, I'll click on typography. And I want to change my font from Assistant, and I'll scroll down and find Archivo here. To select the font, I'll click on it and then click on Select. I'll change my body font from Assistant to Archivo Narrow, and then I'll click on Select again. And you'll see that font appear here on the right-hand side on my store. The last thing I want to do is go to Animations here and then turn on the 3D Lift Hover effect. The 3D Lift Hover effect looks really good in my opinion and just adds a little bit of polish to your store. To see what that looks like, let's scroll down to one of our products here. We have our Maxwell graphic tee that we made earlier. If I hover over this, you'll see when my mouse goes over it that it just slightly comes off the page. This is also a good time to take a look at what our product page looks like on our store. So if I click into this product here, we'll see the t-shirts image appear here along with all of the other product images I uploaded earlier. Then we have our product description here that we created earlier. And overall, everything on the product page looks really good. One thing that's important to note with product pages, you can edit them the exact same way you do the home page. If you look on the left-hand side here, you have all of the same content available. You can configure sections, add blocks, and you can really dial in your product pages to look exactly how you want. In my case, I'm happy with how this looks, so I'm going to leave it how it is. Another thing that's important to note is that not all customers will be viewing your store in a desktop view. Some will be using a mobile device. So to see what your store looks like in a mobile view, go to the top right here and click on Mobile. If I click on that, you can see that everything is nice and optimized for a mobile device. And if I go back to my home page here by navigating at the top, I can see my home page is also nice and clean and optimized for mobile devices. And getting one last look at the store here, I think everything looks really good, really clean and nice and branded. So I think it's time to start configuring our store settings and getting ready to publish this store. To end things off here, I'll go ahead and click on Save. And then I'll click on Exit here on the left-hand side. Now, before we can publish our store, there's a couple things that we need to do in our Settings tab. To get there, go to the bottom here and click on Settings. You'll want to start by configuring your store details. You'll have to input your phone number, your email address, and your billing address. Once you've done that, go over to Payments here on the left-hand side. Here, you'll have to choose between Shopify payments and the default option, which is PayPal payments. I highly recommend going with Shopify payments. This checkout method converts way better in my opinion, and customers really prefer it. So go through the account setup process and set up Shopify payments on your store. Next, let's click on Shipping and Delivery here on the left-hand side. Here, you can manage where you ship and how much you're charging for shipping. Click into your general shipping rates here. And you can configure your shipping based on products. You have your fulfillment location, your shipping zones for both domestic and international. Depending on what you're selling, where you're selling it to, you can configure everything here in the Shipping and Delivery tab. Let's go back here. Next, we'll click on Taxes and Duties. Here within Taxes and Duties, you'll want to make sure that you're properly collecting taxes based on the regions that you're shipping to. If you're unsure about this, you can speak with a tax professional and make sure that everything here is aligned with your business properly. Next, on the left-hand side, let's go into domains. Here, you can either buy a domain from Shopify or connect an existing domain. If you don't have one already, I would recommend buying a domain through Shopify because it's just way easier to set up. To do that, click on Buy New Domain. And then I can find a domain for my store. For example, here I could go with maxwellclothing.store. Then I'll click on search to see if it's available. And it's available for $9 for the first year. And when I buy this domain, Shopify is going to automatically connect everything for me. In my experience, this is usually done within a few minutes to just about an hour. The last thing we'll want to do here is go to Languages on the left-hand side. Now within the Languages tab, you're able to translate your store's content to different languages. Depending on which regions you're selling your products to, I would highly recommend going through this step because it actually increases your store's conversion rate in those countries by 13%. So it is certainly worth doing this step. With all of these settings configured, I'll click on the X button here to go back. And with everything now done, I can finally remove the password on my store and go live. To remove the password from your store, simply click on Remove Password here. I'll go ahead and do that. And now our store is officially live. To view the store, I'll click on View Store here. And now we can finally get a live look at the store that we just created. I think this store looks really good, really solid and professional. And in my opinion, it would start driving sales immediately. With that said, thank you for watching this video, and I really hope it helped you out. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them down in the comments. I try my best to answer every single one. Good luck with building your Shopify store, and I'll see you in the next video.